My name is Devai. I'm a seven-figure paper lead agency owner. Last month we spent around 76 grand. We sell leads for $250 to $400, excluding disqualified leads, which actually add another 20% in profit or so. And we generate them, as you can see, for like $155. And in the next 10 minutes, I'll explain to you what paper lead is and how a company was able to scale to be listed on the NASDAQ as a marketing company. Like, actually ask yourself, which companies do you know, like ecom or otherwise, that do marketing have been listed on the NASDAQ? The only form of marketing company that can even be reached, right, to this pinnacle of like marketing is paper lead, because it has such insane scalability. And I'll be explaining to you in the language of a 5-year old, so at the end of this video you have the experience of somebody who has been in the industry for 10 years, because I only make my videos super in depth, right? And specifically, the whole consensus is, right, you attract consumers and you match them with businesses. Now, how you do that, right? And I'm gonna explain to you, but you arbitrage that sweet paper lead like money and juice at scale. And it's just one website, right? Lending Tree is one single website. Like, actually ask yourself, for your retainer business or e-com model, how many like lead funnels or websites that you design over the years? It's like you like get into one, right? You dump it, right? You fulfill for a client, that client churn and burn, right? Drop shipping, churn and burn brands. You want to build something sustainable, and I'll show you exactly what's so sustainable about this business model, because essentially I aggregated their data all the way from 2014 to 2024. So over a 10-year timeline, I have the data to back it up, right? And what PaperLead essentially is it's a marketplace, right? It's the pinnacle and the most elegant form of marketing and extracting arbitrage money from marketing, because essentially you can drive all the different people or leads, right, all the different consumers that might need credit cards, mortgages, personal auto lenders, insurance, or banks, any of these services that they are interested in, right? They can be driven through traffic sources like Google, YouTube, Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram. Organic search, we're talking about just on Google, and then AI search, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, right? TikTok organic, Instagram organic, SEO, and email. So those are the main traffic sources, and you can basically, right, Lending Tree slips and freaking like just it just consumes, and it just like like a magnet just saps up all of this traffic using their affiliate ecosystem, which I'll explain later as well, right? And it collects first name, last name, email, and phone number. Now, specifically, they're also, right, based on the buttons they click, also the qualifications. Let's say you're like a limited, you want a business loan, right? You're somebody, okay, your business is going under. Oh my God, like I need to install 10 roofs or I'm gonna die. That type of scenario, right? You're really cash flow tight. You need like, like, because I also do business loan leads, I know that a lot of like roofers and builders, they're very cash flow heavy because they need to invest in a lot of raw materials and payroll, right? So they need a lot of money. And they go to Lending Tree to find the best business loan provider, so to say. You have all of this data, right? You fill it in, right? Like, this is a funnel where you basically fill out all of this data. When do you want to get this? What's your monthly? This is like very personal data, right? And that can be monetized by a lot of business loan companies, because essentially, right, like in some markets, I get paid like $100 for business loan. Depending on qualification, you may get paid like $40 to $150 in the US market, and you can generate them for anywhere from $20 if you're an insane autistic media buyer to $80, right? So really depending on the qualification. But this funnel essentially collects all of the data based on which buttons that they click, right? And they fill out their first, last name, email, and phone number, and they send that information to credit card issuers, to, like in this case, business lenders, right? And these business lenders essentially buy that information, because then they can basically feed that information to their call center. How these corporate businesses work is they have massive call centers, right? I'm talking about 100, 200 people, like in a call center, like Wolf of Wall Street style, and like dang, 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 without the cocaine and hookers, obviously. I'm actually not sure about that part, but specifically, they hammer on the phones. Like lead to speed is tracked. Like how fast can I get to speed? How do I convert these leads? All these metrics are really, really tracked down to a T, right? So they know how to optimize, because all these businesses are systems that try to make more money, right? And specifically, different verticals, right? Like credit card, mortgage, personal, they have different types of payouts, and we're also going to be discussing that. But now I hope you understand what that is and why it's so powerful, because they have an army of people like me who supply them with leads, right? Say I generate a lead for $10, like let's say just like a personal lender lead, right? $10, that's doable, and I sell them to Lending Tree for $15, right? And then when it's like $15, they're gonna sell that to the auto lender, like one of their 100 buyers, right, for $30, and they make the profit margin. Now, specifically how it works on the back end is super interesting, because essentially, right, they don't even have one single buyers. They have a lot of buyers. They have like 450 lenders, a lot of banking platforms, and each one of these businesses, right, 450 is not local businesses, it's corporate giants. They're doing like millions and millions in marketing spend on the back end, one of these lenders, right? So it's a lot of juice that's flowing into the industry. And specifically how they monetize it and arbitrage the most out of the money is that they have a marketplace, right? Think of it, you're trying to buy a painting, right? Everybody like is bidding, right? Like on this painting, 40 million, 30, $50 million, and the painting is going to go to the one that has essentially the highest bid. The same goes for business leads, right? The guy who's going to bid the highest is going to get the lead, and all of this is not done in like minutes, it's done in milliseconds, because everything is set up automatically, and that's called API bidding. Now, specifically, you as affiliate, right, you also have that system set up where Lending Tree and a bunch of other buyers, right, like you're just trying to get the best deal, right, who's going to bid the most on your leads, and that's how it works, right? It's such a beautiful system of acquisition. And I bet you've never heard of it before, because all these gurus, right? Low-key, I'm gonna become a guru as well. It's kind of a compliment, because I was like fucking introverted as fuck, man. Like I couldn't even raise my hand in school. But anyways, specifically consumers, right? You monetize consumers, send that to Lending Tree, the marketplace. They monetize it with these corporate businesses, and they're powerful, man. Because specifically, let's go over the data, right? You may think that's it's just like one site, and they have all of these. This website is a work of art, because they have so much data on what kind of buttons get clicked on where, that they've optimized that down to a T. Like conversion rate optimizing. You ecom guys probably know what the fuck that is. I have no idea. I know like heat maps, SEO guys like heat maps, right? When you go down, less people are like looking at your site, right? Like here, like 80% people are, 70% and 60%. So 40% already went off and dropped off from the site. But all of this is like optimized down to a T, because they have one website. You build one brand, right, in pay per lead, and you optimize it for 20 years and get the best, become the best at it, which is why you're gonna be listed on the Nasdaq, right? And why they're able to be listed on the Nasdaq, and they have all of this useful information as well, right? Once you click on stuff like that, right, you go to Fundbox, and obviously like Fundbox only wants one type of qualified criteria of clients, right? So based on the qualifications, they send in the consumers, right? If they're a good business loan prospect, for instance, if they're like rich, they have like 720 credit score. So in the US, if you have higher credit scores, you're like rich, right? Because you pay your credit bills. And then this is a good potential customer for this for Fundbox, right? The business lending company. So they want it. And then, right, Lending Tree gets paid based on each qualified prospect. Now, specifically, that's how they're able to scale from basically, right, Q3, just 3 months. So basically, let's go back and look at some of the data, right? Because I did aggregate the 2020, 2014 balance sheet and the 2024 balance sheet from Claude. And Paperly basically scales with ad spend as well as your brand name, right? Lending Tree has a brand, so most of it comes from organic search. A lot of people are searching them up on like Google, right? And probably also AI. And they get it like off a lot of different other like people like me providing them through different channels as well. Um, and the problem with retainer is, bro, like I scaled to like 3 4 retainer clients, and then basically now I'm doing 2 to 4 grand in profit, right, off like two main clients. And that's just the power of pay per lead essentially, because I was like calling people 3 a.m., right, trying to fulfill for local businesses that had no sales infrastructure. They had no idea what they were doing. They didn't have brand. They had two Google reviews. One of them was a 1 star, right? Like is a pain. Growing, I have respect for everybody who builds a retainer. Like low key, holy shit, you are the best. Like Cameron England, complete fucking beast how he managed to do it. But now he does mainly info and AI. But now specifically, same model, right? 2015, 2024, and now in 2024, in the first 9 months, they made 600 million, right? Full year of 2015, they only made 250 million. You do the math, right? And here you can kind of see it charted out their growth rate, and specifically that they in just 3 months they made the whole revenue of 2015, and big numbers, big numbers, right? 421 million, free whole market served. Insurance is a really, like, if you haven't watched my YouTube video on verticals, right, once you watch it, it's an hour long in-depth dive, and nobody on the planet has made such an in-depth dive on choosing the right paper lead vertical. So you can check it out, because then you understand the fundamentals on how paper lead works, in which verticals you should be diving into, so you don't waste your life and attention. Now specifically, right, they have so much brand that 30 million people just trust them. They have a 2.7 growth rate over the last 10 years, and one segment just like went bonkers as well. So a lot of growth, crazy margins, right? Like, variable marketing margins is like revenue minus lead spent, 218 million, 34% marketing margin. You won't see any business on the whole planet, right? Ecom probably has a 15 to 20% margin at best at this scale. You won't be able to see any other marketing business that has this insane level of scale. Um, and marketing margin. I made a video on market money supermarket. It's a London company as well, right? And they do around 500 million in revenue. Go check it out. It's like I made it yesterday. And specifically fat margins, consumer insurance and home, right? Consumer is like the highest margin at 50%, but it aggregates to 34%, which is insane. And I also know a specific company that does 50 million, right? It's in my industry, like car accident. It's one of the most insane verticals. I had a video on analyzing the ads in it, so go check it out. But specifically, the goat in my industry spends $300,000 on ads each single day, and he has a 50, like, he makes like 50 million a year probably in profit, right? And it's absolutely crazy. You can check it out. Angelo Case Connect, he has one of the interviews on YouTube. um, and if you DM me, I can just send that over as well. Um, and specifically, Paper Lead is also such a good offer because when you're doing retainer, you sell emotions. You sell, like, you're selling, like, basically trying to get 2 to 5 grand retainers. Like, what am I saying? 2 to 3 grand retainers, 4 grand at max, and you're selling based on emotion, and it's a lot of money for for a lot of local businesses, right? And these corporate giants, they have millions in marketing spend, so they won't mind sending you like 15 30 grand for a test order. One of my friends got sent 300 grand, right, by a company in law firm that spends 5 million. They legit had a 40-minute call, right? And like, just 300 grand of Stripe. Like, Stripe took like 9 grand, which is insane. Now specifically, you can have one website and sell leads to 1,500 buyers. That's an extreme scenario of Lending Tree. Right, it is absolutely nuts. But for us normal people that are starting out, we can sell it to 5 people and we still be printing. And I'm like selling to two main buyers right now. So specifically, the average earnings per click is like $58. Paid per qualified lead, right, is $10 to $70. So they get paid out on each like when we go back, right, on each customer information, they essentially get paid, right, for the first name, last name, email, phone number. They get, and these qualifications, they can get paid from $17, 10 to 70. My math is so fucking bad. I'm a disgrace to my Chinese ancestors. Okay, where was I? Fuck. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm like sometimes unorganized with this fucking. I probably need to cut this part out if I remember. But anyways, I'm bad at math, and $10 to $70, right? That's how much they get paid on each single lead, and 2 to 4% of visitors that go onto the site, like millions of people, convert into leads that turn out to be $10 to $70 that they sell to like business lenders and a bunch of these companies, right? And specifically, net 30, what does that mean? Okay, pretend I generated a business loan lead for $30. I sold them to this lending tree for $50. After I deliver and sell the lead, I get paid after 30 days I deliver the lead. So you don't get paid upfront because that's just not how it works in most industries, right? Check out my vertical videos. I have some that pay upfront. I have some industries and verticals that pay upfront, right? For beginners, it's really nice because that's how I started out. Didn't have any money like 8 months ago. So net 30 payouts, right? Deliver the lead, you get paid after 30 days. There's also net 14, so you get paid after 14 days. So that's for the affiliates. Specifically, mortgage pays the most, right? Because here you can see that the lead cost is like $70 to $80 for mortgage, and then you have all the. You can just stop the video and study it a bit by yourself. And if any of you boys or girls, probably just boys, want personalized one-on-one help on a profit share basis to scale up to 100K in profit in under like 10 clients, DM me on Instagram or Telegram. I got you. But all of this like operates at volume, right? So mortgage is very, very valuable to a lot of companies because it's high ticket, right? Business loans are also very valuable, so they get paid more. Now, specifically, you choose an offer, you send them via like probably meta ads is for most beginners the way to go. And then people fill it out, they get qualified, right? Click on the right buttons, they have enough credit score, for instance, and they get basically you send that lead to the specific lending tree, and then you get paid after 30 days. Now, it's stupid simple, right? The math adds up. Like a two year old Chinese person can make this math, and you can do the math on how scalable they are. Essentially, right? A bunch of these like technical stuff I don't want to go over, but essentially all of this data is tracked, right? You have all these URLs. If you want to learn more about the technical stuff, go ask Grok, and basically you can screenshot this one as well if that's useful because everything is tracked down to a T, right? Because essentially Lending Tree is a data monetization platform. They have all of this data, probably 50% of all of the people in the States that are interested in the services, which is why they're so valuable. Because all of that data can get monetized. And if you look at their ads, bro, they're running 500 different ads. So and the ads, right, they have a lot of corporate guidelines, so that's why they also have affiliates that send them leads for cheap, so you have more like room to essentially send them leads and make better ads. Check all of this out. I'm using Get Hooked, by the way, and it's like super nice to save ads as well. You can see some of the verticals here I'm doing. I basically did them all.